everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, May 16th, 2021. Oh, I'd say Summer and Kyle had about 3/4 of an episode of pure pre-wedding bliss. And then Tara shows up at the engagement party with little Harrison in step. Oh, Y&R had to make Harrison the cutest kid possible. They just had to. I mean, it's clear. What is cuter than a cute kid wearing a cute puppy on his sweater? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Y&R was going for heartstrings with this one, and they succeeded. I'm telling you, if that kid breaks in to his famous rendition of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I'm gonna lose it. So, what possibly could have brought Tara Locke to the Abbott Newman doorstep on such a private, special occasion? Didn't Abby put out the closed for private event sign? So rude. I was waiting for a wedding crash in the fall, but boy, we got a pre-engagement party crash early. I love it. I just don't know why. I can only imagine that either Ashland is dead or he has flown into a rage and is after them all. Oh, I can't wait till Monday to find out what her story is, because Tara has always seemed so put together, so self-assured, so confident and capable, and it was startling to see her there, red-faced, looking so frightened. Is there any chance that Tara is manipulating the situation on purpose, or is there any chance that Tara showing up at that engagement party had something to do with Sally Spectra? Because Sally Spectra was sniffing around on Friday, trying to find out what all of the buzz was about. She managed to squeeze out of Kyle that there was going to be an engagement party, but Sally also overheard Summer and Phyllis having a lovely mother-daughter moment where Phyllis gifted Summer a beautiful red Alexandrite necklace, was it? That had been given to Phyllis by, that's right, Jack. Of course, Jack, one of the deep loves of Phyllis's lifetime, Jack. He delivered Summer, he's like family, deep connection. And Sally overheard it all. Oh, I can't forget to say, oh my goodness, Summer and Phyllis both looked dazzling at that engagement party. The necklace that Phyllis gave to Summer complemented her sparkly dress so beautifully, and OMG, I don't even know what Phyllis was wearing. I was staring at my screen trying to figure out what the material was that was going all the way down the sides on Phyllis's dress, because it was sparkly in the front and maybe leather or a spandex, some kind of material that was shiny on the sides. They both looked so good, so red. It was gorgeous. Oh, red. Red is the theme. Red, red, red. Jack likes red. Jack liked Sally's red, but Jack also liked Phyllis's red, and Jack and Phyllis have been seeming very close lately. I really like that. You know it. I also really liked that it made Sally so jealous that she had to run right out and video chat with Grams about it all. But I don't know that there's anything Sally would have been able to do to affect Tara showing up at the party. Sally might have been jealous about it all, but I don't know that she was any part of Tara showing up. I kind of wonder if maybe Sally was the red herring, since there was so much expectation that maybe she would crash the party, and then there was a twist in a completely different direction of who was going to crash that party. Yes. Tara definitely put a squash on not only the party, but I'm going to guess that Tara will be putting the squash on Summer's happy wedding planning. Some form of trouble is brewing. And it cannot be undone. See, and here I was hoping to hear Jack's story of the John Abbott watch. We were promised a story at the engagement party, and somehow I feel that we'll not be getting that story now. That watch that Jack gave to Kyle as a pre-wedding gift, it rang a bell for me, but I couldn't quite put my finger on it, so maybe Jack will save that story for the ceremony if we ever get there. You know, Jack Abbott, the ordained minister, telling that story at the altar. Can't you just see it? I mean, that's what you do when you become one of the elders of the show. When your many marriages days are over, you then retire into the ordained minister role so that you can marry all of the younger generation. That's what Catherine did. It's weird that Jack would be marrying his own son, though. I don't know. I think it's a nice idea, but I think it's a little inappropriate. I don't know. I'm sure Jack is going to do a great job, but I also feel like Jack should be allowed to just kick back, drink some wine, and have fun through this whole wedding. I don't think he should have to be, busy preparing a speech, although that is what Jack Abbott does best. Let's be real. One of Jack Abbott's greatest strengths is his speech-giving abilities. So actually, maybe this is perfect. I'm in it for the speeches. I'm sure Mariah will come up with a good speech for the wedding, too. Hey, she's everybody's best friend. And so the time has come. Our little Lola is going off to become a celebrity chef. Oh, the tongue-in-cheek. A celebrity chef. Yes. Y&R knows that they are losing her to go off and become a big, big celebrity. She's going to be a big, big star. And if Y&R has lucky stars, then maybe Sasha's fame will bring them some new viewers too. People could say, oh, who is this Sasha? Let's look into her body of work. Maybe they'll see some clips of Y&R on YouTube. Maybe they'll start watching the show. You never know. I'm sure that Justin Hartley's meteoric rise to fame brought Y&R some good press, and perhaps this will be that too. I wonder if Sasha could see the writing on the wall that Y&R was migrating away from the Rosales family and using her character far less regularly, divorcing her from Kyle, creating other storylines for Kyle. And I wonder if that's maybe what made her step up the auditioning, maybe go out a little more. Looking at the timeline, thinking back on it, to me it seems like Y&R squashed Theo and Lola at the same time. Then they brought on Sally, and now they've brought on Tara to be the counterpoint for Summer and Kyle. But I don't know, couldn't we use a character like Lola? I really quite liked Lola. So this week's poll question at yrchat.com, do you think that Y&R should recast the role of Lola? Do you want to keep seeing the character even if a different actress is playing her, or do you think it's just time to retire her character for a while? Right now, it doesn't seem like they're planning a recast. Lola said she was going off to Florida and she was leaving her recipes for whoever Abby's next faceless chef will be. I'll tell you, Abby had better be, right this very moment, putting together a farewell party for Lola. An actress who is leaving the show for something this big deserves an on-screen celebration. Welcome to the chess game of your life. I'm so glad that wasn't me, because I would be like, oh man, I spent my entire life watching soap operas. I don't know how to play chess. I was busy in front of the TV not learning how to play chess. I would be screwed. Oh, but chess always looks so smart and so sexy on TV, but I know I'd be terrible at it. I am an overthinker. I would never be able to make a move. I'd spend the whole time looking at the board, thinking of all the options, and I'd be frozen. I'd never know how to make the move at all. Also, the rules sound terrifying. The pawn gets to the other side of the board and gains power? That's news to me. I'm going to premise this whole next section by saying I don't know how to play chess, so I am doing my very best to pull it together. I'm sure there are layers of meaning here because it was deep, and I'm sure I didn't even get all of it. But I like it. I love it. I thought it was beautiful. A side question. When did playing chess become such a big part of Victor's character? Because it hasn't always been there. Victor wasn't a chess player when I started watching in the 90s. It almost seems like as Victor got older, his love and passion for boxing took a little bit of a backseat to the chess playing. Chess kind of became his new thing within, would you say, I don't know, has it been a decade? Maybe not even that long, maybe 5 years, I don't know. But I bet you that Y&R even had those giant chess pieces that they had surrounding the board. I bet you they had those left over from Victor Newman's 50th anniversary party too, because they had those giant chess pieces used in Noah's art installation, the big finale for Victor's 50th. They had giant chess pieces there for that. So I bet they just reused them. Hey, all right. I love it. I was impressed. I looked at my screen and I said, how about this production value? It's fantastic. I mean, black, white, high contrast, gorgeous scenes. If they would have added a red curtain around that whole scene, I would have thought I was inside of a David Lynch reality. It was intense. It was beautiful. I just loved it. It was well written. It was extremely deep. I mean, the set, it was just gorgeous. The shadows. Everyone looked so good. All of the meaning was there. Victor was yelling at him, here we go. This is a chess game, and it's of your life. And Victor was trying to coach Adam, trying to teach his son on how to make the best move for a winning life. Because, you know, Victor has had such a winning life. But again, we also had all of the players from Adam's life stopping by to give him love and to give him criticisms and to give him some tough love. this actually was the second similar nightmare that Adam has had recently, because it was nearly identical to the nightmare that Adam had about Chelsea and Sharon while he was at the ranch. You know, the one where Sharon and Chelsea were wearing the same green V-neck sweater that Chelsea was again wearing this week. Ew. How dare they reuse wardrobe? But we get a lot of this. This is a redemption dream. It's not new. It's been happening for decades. You're inside of a fantasy, and all of the players from your life are coming to tell you things. Some good, some bad. Some things that you want to hear, some things that you don't want to hear. But I did think that Chelsea and Sharon had a lot of the same stuff to say. But I enjoyed seeing Rey as the knight telling Adam that he was just simply not capable of stable, solid, forever love like the way that Rey is. And I said to myself, okay, that's the moment I knew. I knew that was my first clue that Adam's revelation at the end of this was going to be to do a complete 180 character turn and start telling Sharon to go back to Rey. Rey, Adam, you're not capable of stable, solid, forever love like I am. And if you cared about Sharon, you would want that for her. And I thought, okay, this is going to be the change. We are going to see Adam start pushing Sharon now to go back to her marriage instead of trying to pull her out of it. So that was interesting. I also really loved Chloe as the pawn. I do just love Chloe. I love the actress anyway, and so I really enjoyed her delivery of the lines. But I also liked that I liked her bit of dialogue of what she was saying to Adam, that he always makes the mistake of seeing the pawn as dispendable, yet the pawn can be the most important part of the game. Her accusation to Adam was, see, you never fully consider the ramifications of your moves, and then innocent pawns get hurt. I thought that was good. That argument also applies to Victor Newman and his life. So I thought that was a really nice, and in fact, I thought Chloe's piece was probably the most well-written piece, or maybe it was the most easy for me to understand as a non-chess player. Everybody kind of knows the rules of your pawn. It's sort of known, it's synonymous with being expendable. So I thought that she had a really, really good couple of scenes there. Funny, too. It was funny because she had a moment where she was telling Adam, look, I'm the pawn. I'm no power player like your father. Oh, hello, Victor. Ooh, that one was so good. I tell you, though, Billy's was one of the toughest for me to chew on because, well, first of all, Billy offering anyone life advice when he was off having his own nightmare realization just a couple of months ago. Like it was laughable to see Billy giving any advice when we know how unhinged he's been so much recently. But Billy was he was arguing that Adam would need to sacrifice his rook, and he was encouraging Adam to tear down his castle walls. It seemed like a message of forgiveness, unless I'm misinterpreting, but it seemed like a message of forgiveness. It seemed like it was given with a lighter hand than Billy usually does when it comes to Adam. And I did appreciate the piece of poetry about Adam and Billy being bonded by a fate that neither one of them wanted. It was very well written. I'm afraid some of it probably went over my head, and I'm sorry. Again, I'm just not a chess player, but I'm sure there's layers of meaning there that maybe you guys can give back to me this week. Phyllis also popped in as the bishop, and I was totally lost on that. I'm sorry. Michelle Stafford did a crazy good job, as usual, with the material, but I guess I felt like Phyllis didn't fully belong there. Phyllis and Adam don't have a strong connection to me. I feel like Phyllis and Adam are two of a kind. They're always in the same place, and yet they're never in the same place, and they barely interacted over the past year, so I feel like I didn't fully get, I didn't feel like she had enough importance to be there in a nightmare dream for him specifically. I also didn't fully get her message. Victor called her a dark shaman, and she was very contentious with Victor, and yet at the end she was encouraging Adam to be ruthless like Victor. That one was a little lost on me, but Nick showed up briefly as the White Knight, and I liked that. I thought that suits him. Nick is the White Knight, the protector of the Queen. But who is the Queen? That was what we kind of knew it was all building to. This is what Adam's story has been about for months now. Who is his true Queen? Is it Chelsea? Well, no! It's Sharon, silly! Of course it's Sharon, but from out of the blowing, flowy white window shears, Sharon declares that no, she's nobody's queen. She looked like Here Comes the Bride in her whole white wedding getup. She was the bride all dressed in white if she wasn't the queen. But she also claimed that she was a crutch for Adam. That's the word that she used. She was Adam's crutch, not his queen. Within the past several months, they had fallen back into old habits. She wanted to help him, but she realized that it had just sidestepped him from helping himself. So she, of course, then asks him to let her go, which, coupling that with Rey's accusations, Adam realizes that he needs to let her go. Adam decides that he wants to forfeit the game, and Adam right then and there stops playing the game. That's when he asks Victor, okay, fine, I give up. You tell me, what would the winning move have been? And it's revealed to be Chelsea. Chelsea rolls in, literally, in her wheelchair. Then she stands up, and she has, again, a lot of the same sentiment to say that she did in the green sweater nightmare, but she capped this one off with a very true statement of saying to him, well, Adam, you had a winning game with me, and you blew it. And yeah, I'm going to have to side with Chelsea on that one. Adam had a winning game with Chelsea. He had love, he had family, he had it all, and he blew it. To me, there was some real good ringing truth right there. Then out of nowhere, Victoria comes in for a checkmate, saying to Adam, you've underestimated me. I'm the one that you should fear most. So that's right. I said it last week. Here's our new villain. Victoria Newman is the new villain of the show. And I would say that right there, that scene right there with Victoria coming in for the kill, that represents our preview of Adam's future challenge. Adam's battle from here on out will become less internal and will become more external as he goes toe-to-toe with Victoria when Victor forces them to work side by side in the office. I guess in a way, chess probably has been a part of Victor's character for even longer than I realized, because now thinking back on it, Jack has been calling Victor the Black Knight since the 90s, since when I started watching the show, and I never related it to chess. What is wrong with me? But this is great because I'm getting new levels of meaning on a show that I've watched for nearly 30 years. Gosh, that episode ended with Victor moving the Black Knight and declaring his checkmate. I have to admit, I only really understood that significance and made that connection because Y&R Chatter Victoria had commented on it at the website. Again, I'm a Y&R expert. I'm not a chess expert. I am the Tin Man. I'm all heart and no brain. But that really blew me back when I realized that full circle moment, and just the way it added a new depth of meaning to my Victor. So I love it. I mean, I keep thinking it's this new writer. We did get a new writer a couple of months ago, and now all of a sudden we're getting these fantastic scripts, these fantastic shows, and now we've come full circle. Adam is a changed man. On top of everything else, he's no longer going to pursue Sharon. That was his driving force for so long, and now he's no longer going to pursue Sharon. He is going to, in fact, set her free. He is going to stop running to her every time that there is a problem. He even thinks she's good with Rey. In fact, he tells her that he is going to matchmake for her and Rey from now on. He's going to be flying around like a little Cupid with his bow and arrow, trying to get those two crazy kids back together. Post-stroke psychosis. There you go, folks. Just wipe your hands clean. Post-stroke psychosis. All right, there you have it. And Victor, the grand chess master, is the one who pulled it all off. He didn't just threaten Chelsea into confessing. Oh no. He made it worth her while. And, oh boy, did she put on a show. Did she put on a show? Chelsea pretends to be totally shocked that Victor has called Rey and Michael and a psychiatrist down to the ranch to watch her do what can only be properly labeled as a spectacular meltdown. She made a full confession, which I'm assuming was it kind of doubled as her confession to the audience on exactly how she was able to pull off framing Adam for Rey's attempted murder. Because remember a couple of weeks ago when Chloe wouldn't let Chelsea divulge those details, and it felt like a little bit of a letdown. Maybe it was all being saved for exactly this moment. Well, even though she was pulling a con, I assume that is the truth about how all of the details went down. She was really paralyzed at a point. She really did get better, and little by little, she got better, so much so that she was able to order herself up an Uber to head over to Rey and Sharon's house to plant some poison in Rey's bath and body products. Wow. Wow. I mean, you know what? The reveal and the writing and the story and all that, that's good. That was good. But man, Melissa Claire Egan's performance was what really leveled it up. She was fantastic in those scenes. Chelsea was so edgy, and it just made everything feel way intense. I actually got startled and jumped a little bit when Chelsea was so frustrated. She knocked over that chair. I actually jumped. Like I had oh! It got me. That actually startled me. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, that has to be such a nerve-wracking task for a soap actor or actress to have to do something a little violent or a little physical, like throwing a chair, because you have to know that you need to throw it hard enough to make it look real. If you just kind of touch it and move it over and it topples over a little bit, it just looks fake. But if you do it too much, you could get in trouble. You could hurt someone. But I thought that Melissa Claire Egan played it perfect. She did an exquisite job of making that whole meltdown look like a child's tantrum. And she did an exquisite job of making Chelsea look like someone who needed mental help. She looked like a mental patient in those meltdown scenes. I mean, she was just really, really high. It was like she almost couldn't breathe. And she was saying, it was Adam. Adam drove me to do this. It was all Adam. I mean, and you get it. You really understood it and really felt it. And I'm sure that Chelsea was probably playing on some of her actual feelings about it, even though we know she was faking. Enter the doctor, and all of a sudden the doctor has to get, she's so worked up that the doctor has to give her the syringe of night-night juice to knock Chelsea out cold, or so we think. Then the doctor tells Michael and Rey about his whole post-stroke psychosis diagnosis that will surely keep her from going to jail. Of course, Michael and Rey are standing in the background watching the whole thing with bewilderment, saying to each other, well, we have a full confession. She knew details of the crime that weren't released to the public, so I guess Adam's off the hook, and Chelsea's not exactly in any condition to just haul her down to the police station in handcuffs, so I guess we'll just leave her in her doctor's care forever. Then 30 seconds later, Rey and Michael are gone. And Chelsea, lying on the couch, just pops her eyes open and gives Victor the look like, how'd I do? What a soapy dramatic twist. What a great day of drama. I'm happy with that. I really am happy with that. I see some holes, though. I mean, I will say, what's in all of this for Chelsea? What's in it for Chelsea? Now she's stuck in a mental institution, giving me mad Sheila Carter vibes. Ooh, that end credits, or the end scene, I think it was Wednesday, just the close-up of her in the face in the psych ward. Ooh, I was getting Sheila Carter even physically looking like her. But I tell you, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense that Chelsea would choose that and go along with Victor's plan, all on Victor's word that the doctor will let her go soon, and then he's going to help her go off and start a new life. I mean, that doesn't make full sense in terms of Chelsea's character. I mean, a lot of this hasn't. It was great drama, but it sure did some damage to Chelsea's character. She took such painstaking steps in her recovery, literally painstaking steps, just so that she could frame Adam and get her revenge on him, and then she doesn't hear from Connor for one day, and she completely caves to Victor's threats? As far as I can tell, or as far as I understood, Victor never did anything to or with Connor. So I guess Chelsea just got paranoid and gave in? That's a little surprising. Especially when, instead of being in an institution, Chelsea could have taken Chloe's advice and just been out of town by now with Connor, with her son. The one thing that we know Chelsea is supposed to care about. So, I don't know. That part of it is a little disappointing, but I think the greater whole is better than that. Disappointment. But I also kind of wonder, like, what does Y&R do with Chelsea now? What does this mean for Melissa Claire Egan's status with the show? I did do a little digging, and Melissa is not due on her pregnancy until August. She says she's still working right now, so maybe she's not gone from the show, even though that felt like an ending for the character. And also, get this, all of the scenes that we saw this week were written before Melissa had announced her pregnancy to Y&R. So nothing that we have seen has anything to do with her pregnancy. It may just work out perfectly, though. Maybe Chelsea can just take a few weeks off and return to town. And not this time as a love interest for Adam or for Nick, but as Genoa City's newest great villain. Even though the majority of Chelsea's confession to the cops seemed true, it wasn't all true. There was a little detail in there that maybe wasn't true. Chelsea insisted that while she was realized Sharon was coming over to the penthouse and having sex with Adam in her bed. And she saw it all, and that's what drove her to madness. Okay, well, now Chelsea either planted that little detail on purpose, just expertly designed to drive Rey crazy, or, as Nick theorized, maybe Chelsea actually believes that the affair happened, believes that those fantasies that we know she was having in her mind were true. I think Nick's right. I think that Chelsea actually believes the fantasies that we saw her having, and I think that Nick saying that was meant to offer an explanation to the audience about it. But either way, we're still left with the damage that does. It's not true. Sharon and Adam weren't having an affair. Well, not that we know of. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that, Y&R rewrote that an affair actually didn't happen and we just didn't see it. But as it stands now, with the information that we have now, Adam and Sharon were not having a sexual affair, the sexual affair that Chelsea accused them of. It's still, we're going to have a whole lot of damage because of this. Rey asked Sharon about it, asked her if it was true, and Sharon was having none of it. Sharon said to Rey, if you have to ask me that, then maybe there is no hope for our relationship. And then she turned on her heels and she walked out on him. Come on, Sharon. I thought, come on, Sharon. I get that Sharon was offended that Rey would ask her that. Chelsea is a known liar, especially at this point. And Sharon is probably exhausted by the topic of Adam when it comes to talking about her marital problems. But can you really blame Rey for asking if what Chelsea said was true? He's an investigator. He's investigating. And if I were Rey, you better believe that I would ask Sharon, especially after she and Adam were photographed in a kiss in public. She walked out on him for asking that question, righteously indignant. But then a couple of days later, she comes to his beckoned phone call, waiting to learn the news of her fate, waiting to find out if Rey has decided to want to patch up their relationship or if he just wants to move on. And there was the Friday cliffhanger. I think Rey is going to want her back. I think Rey is going to apologize to her next week. I think he is going to take Lola's words of advice, and I think he is going to want to try to repair their marriage. But the question is, will she say yes? Adam loses his kidney, but he gains his freedom. And Victor got to be the one to give that good news to Adam. I laughed when Victor went to Adam right after the surgery and asked how Adam was doing, and Adam said, lighter. All those post-surgery hospital scenes with Victor and Adam were great. But it's good news, bad news for Adam. He's free. But he's also now learned that Chelsea is not. Victor was the one to break the news about Chelsea to Adam. And Adam loved Chelsea. I do believe that Adam loved Chelsea. She's the mother of his son. Now, he's free and she's not, and he feels responsible. We saw a lot of echoes of that in the chess dream, but Victor was certainly there to reassure him about everything with Chelsea, and also just to get him to focus on the good news and his future. And I have to say, I was really impressed by the fact that Victor chose not to tell Adam the whole story about how the Chelsea thing went down, that he was the one to checkmate on her. I didn't interpret it as Victor hiding it from Adam to be secretive. I interpreted it as Victor being modest, which would be quite a turn for his character. Victor was the hero of that situation, and he didn't use it to ingratiate himself with Adam, and I liked that. I wanted to like that. I want that to be the read, because I can respect that. Victor got what he wanted in the end. He helped his son, and he didn't need Adam to thank him for that. I like that, and I want to believe that that's the evolution of Victor's character. Because Victor also didn't tell Nikki what really went down. And likewise, Nick wouldn't tell Phyllis what really went down in Kansas, which was most puzzling to me of all. I don't fully get it. I don't know why. Why didn't Nick want to tell Phyllis what happened in Kansas? It wasn't even anything at all secretive or salacious. There's no reason not to tell her. The thing that Nick is not telling Phyllis about the whole thing, it's not that he made some great power move against Adam to get him to come back into town. He just bonded with him. That's all that happened. Adam and Nick bonded. They saw eye to eye. They became brothers in Kansas. That's what happened. And I don't know why he's hesitant to share that with Phyllis. Actually, Gary had mentioned last week that maybe Nick feels embarrassed that he had a turnaround on Adam, because Nick has spent so much time hating Adam, and everyone else in town still enjoys the pastime of hating Adam, and now here Nick is befriending Adam, wanting to help him, being wrong about him, feeling wrong about him. That was a blow to Nick's ego, maybe? I don't know. But I like the brotherly bonding. I'm glad it's here to stay. And I wonder if Nick is now, though, going to be right there in Adam's ear at every little move he makes, trying to be the angel on his shoulder. I wonder if Nick is going to start chastising Adam very soon when he finds out that Adam and Victor are working on waging a war against Billy. Adam made his way back to the empty penthouse on Friday. Empty penthouse, empty wheelchair inside the penthouse. Victor was close behind to give Adam his little welcome home moment, and Victor also promised to have that wheelchair removed. Maybe toss it out the window. But Victor, interestingly, also took a moment to wag his finger at Adam. Victor tells Adam that his lady trouble is what got him into this whole mess, and that's true. Adam did not manage his ladies very well. I'm sorry. Chelsea was totes in a coma, and Adam was out prowling on Sharon. But we are working with a new Adam now. Adam realizes the error of his ways, and he promises his dad that he will not be sneaking any more girls in and out of his bedroom window at night. No. He is not just going to keep bouncing back and forth between Sharon and Chelsea. He is going to be focused on Cyaxaries. That's right, Cyaxaries only. And, of course, using it to crush Billy Abbott. Sure, no more ladies for the sexy guy. No more ladies for the sexy rebel. Just work, and revenge. Revenge and work and revenge, that's all. I'll tell you, if Adam really wanted to get up under Billy Abbott's skin, then he needs to steal Lily away from Billy. Ooh, how about that? It could be done. Adam could woo Lily away from Billy. Nobody can resist the allure of the newly reformed bad boy Adam. I mean, newly reformed bad boys are kind of what Lily is going for these days. Faith came face to face with Adam before her life-saving surgery. In fact, she requested to see Adam, and I thought that was a pretty darn good scene. I was thinking, gee, these two really maybe should have talked long before now. Someone should have sat Faith, Sharon should have sat Faith down with Adam to have a conversation about everything that happened. Might have helped Faith get a little more healing out of it, but Faith wanted to thank Adam for what he's doing. I also think, though, she was worried that she was going to feel indebted to someone who she doesn't trust, which is totally understandable. But Adam rode in there and he said he wanted to do this, and he apologized for what he had put her and her family through, going all the way back to the time he kidnapped her as a baby and gave her to Ashley to cover up that miscarriage that he accidentally caused Ashley to have. Sorry about that. Here's a kidney. Take one. Take two. Adam also made a point, and this was good. He made a point of saying to Faith that he understands now how things that happen to you as a child affect who you become. It doesn't excuse your actions. You can't use a childhood trauma as a future excuse for bad behavior. But I think that acknowledging that something happened to Adam was really important. I think that's why the killing of AJ, the story about Adam killing AJ Montalvo in defense of his mother, was a good rewrite to Adam's backstory, because it tells us why Adam is who he is, why Adam is how he is, and it just gives us a little more insight into his character from long before he ever came to Genoa City. So I really like having that information about AJ Montalvo and what happened to Adam. I think it could have been handled by the writers a lot better, but I liked that got folded back into the forefront when Adam talked to Faith. It was a great full evolution moment of him understanding the importance of what happens to you as a child. And in a shocking twist, Nikki actually reminded Faith this week that a person can be perceived as good to one person and as bad to another. Take Faith's grandfather, for example. There are some people out there who may think that he is a very bad man. But to you, Faith, he's a hero. People can be more than one thing. Wow, that was really rational. Well, I think Faith is going to have an all-new challenge now that has nothing to do with Adam. She is going to be putting that new kidney into action. She's going to need all of her energy to dodge her overprotective dad. Ooh, I love overprotective dad Nick. I love it. Nick's facial expressions about Faith dating boys, I think it's hilarious. At the same time, you can also see that Nick knows that what he's doing is shady. He knows it's not right. You can almost tell he knows he's not even sold on his own tactics. But for now, it's a little funny. Moses asked right away to come out to the ranch to keep Faith company, or to play some games with her, just to talk to her, just to be there for her after she was released from the hospital, which she got released from the hospital. She's looking 100% better. She's looking 110% better. Like, all the life is back in her eyes. Yay. But Nick told Moses that he can't come out to the ranch because Faith's going to need a little bit of time to recover. Maybe he can come out in a couple of days, but really we know Nick doesn't mean that. Okay, here's the thing. Nick and Sharon just almost lost their daughter twice just this month. That's not even including all the other things, and it's not including the bullying ordeal that she just went through. So it's totally understandable to me that now Nick feels shell-shocked and he wants to put his daughter into a little bubble and prevent her from getting hurt ever again. I think that's a natural reaction, but I don't think it's going to last. I think Nick will evolve past it. I think Nick will be in overprotective dad mode for a few more weeks, and then he'll back off. I don't think he's going to end up presenting any real challenge for Faith and Moses, and who knows? Maybe we'll even get to see wise old owl Nikki give her son the advice that she wishes she could have gotten herself all those years ago. Hey, if you don't like your son or your daughter's new mate, just shut your mouth and stay out of it. Don't go dumping a bucket of water over his head and getting yourself arrested in the stables. Ooh, okay. Something interesting has finally happened with Mariah. Ooh, that I was able to connect with. In the hospital waiting room, Mariah's waiting with Nikki and Phyllis, waiting to find out how Faith's surgery went. And, by the way, I just have to say that Nikki and Phyllis have a really fun, snarky vibe going between them now. I really like that Nikki is all turned around and liking Sharon, and now Phyllis is the new enemy. That's a little bit fun. It was cool. I mean, it lightened up a little bit when the news about Faith was good and everybody felt all right. But I just like thinking now that every time Nikki sees Phyllis with Nick, she's wishing it was Sharon with Nick. Oh, who would have ever thought that? But anyway, Mariah and Phyllis had a moment alone together where Phyllis was talking about Summer and the time that Summer was in that same hospital in anaphylactic shock, and Phyllis was saying how hard it is to be a mother, especially when you're watching your child in pain. And then Phyllis casually said to Mariah, "Oh, well, you know about that. You're a mother now." And Mariah was really quick to distance herself from that idea. She then walked into Faith's hospital room. She saw Sharon also in a situation of being a mother to Faith while just looking upon them and thinking about what Phyllis had just said to her. And to me, in that moment, I was thinking that Mariah was denying to herself that she is a mother to the child that she's carrying. And I got a sense of how her mind must be working right now and how difficult that must be. How do you do that? How do you carry a child and distance yourself in the from the idea of being that child's mother? It's almost a cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Like, she knows that she's pregnant, but she cannot mentally allow herself to feel the feelings of motherhood. That's heavy. Sutton has been showering Amanda with attention. Family dinners, family photos, and oh, doesn't she look so much like Aunt so-and-so? Oh, Amanda seems to be really enjoying that spotlight, but I also don't think that Amanda is a fool, and we have some evidence of that. Imani stops by, looking incredible in her bright golden yellow jumpsuit. Side note, I'm telling you, Imani keeps jumping onto my radar harder and harder with her very bold fashion choices. I hope she keeps it up. It is really making her stand out in my mind. But Imani tells Amanda that she's sorry. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Imani is trying to apologize. And she's even offering to help Amanda with Sutton's case, you know, so that they can get to know each other in the process. Well, or so that Imani can find out what Amanda knows, or so that Imani can make sure what Amanda does not know. But no worries, Amanda's onto it. She doesn't trust it, and she knows that playing along with Imani's little game might actually lead her to the truth about what happened to her father. I'm excited for your excitement. That was our Who Said It quote from last week, and the answer is Jack. Jack was sitting there having a conversation with Summer about her wedding planning. Well, it was kind of a one-sided conversation. Jack's eyes started to glaze over, and Summer said, "Oh, I'm sorry, are these harvest centerpieces not interesting to you?" And Jack said, "Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm excited for your excitement." So many winners. Congratulations, Sam, T. Nicole, Henry, Daisy, Lynn, Heather K, Jamie, Kirsten, Victoria, good old Marky, Kamna, and Diana. You guys all guessed that was Jack. Here's a nice little line from this week. Who said it? Trust, love, and believe in what your heart is saying. Who said that? Trust, love, and believe in what your heart is saying. If you think you know, go to yrchat.com to leave your guess, and if you get it right, I will give you your congrats on next week's Y&R Chats. We have comments. Let's find out what you guys are saying. Oh, about Kyle and Summer, Superplex says, in Genoa City, being happily married forever has a 1-year expiration date. I have to agree with that, especially if you're Kyle Abbott. I mean, my goodness, a 1-year expiration date is like the equivalent of happily ever after. I mean, and the pre-wedding bliss for Kyle and Summer only lasted 1 episode. Happily ever after is incredibly short in soap opera world. Daisy says, I don't know why Tara Locke would just show up at an engagement party, but because she did, I think it might be the beginning of the end for Summer and Kyle's relationship, and the beginning of Kyle's relationship with his true love, Tara. Maybe that's why Tara just showed up at Kyle's engagement party. She wants Kyle, and will make him the only person who can help her to get him. Ooh, so you think Tara showing up through that door signals the end of Kyle and Summer and the beginning of Kyle's true love story, and a true love story that leads to a family with Tara. Maybe. I'll have to make that a future poll. Do you think that Kyle and Summer will make it down the aisle? Let's talk about that chess episode. Victoria said, I love the scenes with Victor moving the Black Knight and claiming victory again. Oh, if only he could move all the players in Genoa City around to his will. Or does he? And Sandra says, all that solo chess playing has paid off beautifully. Genoa City is a chessboard, and its residents are all pawns. Kamna says, absolutely, it was fantabulous, and I can see it now. In about 6 to 9 months, Adam will realize that he's a pawn. Chelsea will come back from maternity leave / the psych ward, and she'll say, I told you so, and they'll team up, and Adam will take over Newman. Oh, so much goodness there. Yes, the fact that that chessboard represented Genoa City and all the pieces are the players in it. That's such a great parallel. And also the idea that as we progress along Victor and Adam's wonderful new relationship, so much happiness there, that Adam will eventually realize that he too is one of Victor's pawns. Great, you guys. Hey, let's talk about Rey. Gary says, there will be no walking away with a little dignity for Junction's top cop. Quite a week. Thank you, Y&R, for showing us where true hearts lie. And also, goodbye, Lola. All good wishes, and should things not work out long term, I hope Rey will indeed extradite you back to Genoa City. It's called Dragnet. I gotta back up and say that, yes, I would prefer to see Rey walk away with a little dignity, and you're right, he's not going to do that. I like Sharon and Rey so much, I really do. But the problem is I'm a little exhausted feeling that we're just right back to square one with it all. Adam is, nothing's changed with Adam. Adam has changed, but that doesn't mean that the rift between Rey and Sharon over him has changed. All the same problems are still there, and it's certainly exhausting to me to go back to that. It's possible that at this point Rey might want to get back together and Sharon won't do it. You never know. Jamie says, Chelsea dropped the fake affair bomb, and now I want to see an unhinged, driven mad by betrayal, sinister Rey, hell-bent on revenge. Though I must point out that while a full-blown sex affair didn't go down between Sharon and Adam, an emotional one did, which is still a betrayal. When the ones we love the most harbor secrets and lies, we all have potential to go a little off the rails. Oh, Jamie, and that's interesting too, because in that scene where Adam was in the hospital post-surgery, Sharon comes into his room. He starts talking about, all of his realizations. He's sharing the fruits of his realizations in the dream with her. And she did say to him, what was going on between us wasn't one-sided. So it did almost seem like she was admitting a little bit of culpability there. Not necessarily that I don't know if she feels she did something wrong, but I agree with you that it was an emotional affair. There was certainly more going on there. Tina Cole says, I think Chelsea needs help. Maybe not to the extent that she's pretending she needs it, but for sure therapy. She felt justified to poison Rey and set Adam up to be arrested because of her jealousy of Adam and Sharon. It sucks and Adam hasn't treated Chelsea the best, but once she was recovered, she should have just left him. She's chosen Adam over and over again, and those were her decisions. Even after Adam kidnapped her, Chelsea still chose to get back with him. She has a lot of anger toward Adam that needs to be dealt with in a more healthier way. Oh, Tina Cole, it's funny because I forget everything so quick. I just don't have the long-term memory for storyline. I'm so in all of the short-term stories that I forget stuff quickly. But Adam totally had Chelsea kidnapped, and then we were reminded of that a couple of times this week. Adam had Chelsea kidnapped and held in a very cruel way. Like, he had her drugged and kidnapped, and she still wanted him. That was her decision. She knew who she was getting, and she still wanted him. And then as soon as things didn't go her way in the relationship, certainly she went a little wacky. But as Jamie said, when the ones we love the most harbor secrets and lies, we all have the potential to go a little off the rails. I would qualify that as a lot off the rails, though. Oh. Hey, Diana says, I'm very happy to think that you're right, Allie, when it comes to Nick and Adam's relationship. I am so looking forward to seeing Nick and Adam finally becoming allies and bond as brothers after all of these years. It has been long overdue now for Adam to finally not be the black sheep of the family anymore. Me too. Ellen says it's going to be very disappointing if they keep Adam on the apology tour, groveling for acceptance too long. I want to see strong, smart Adam in business with Victor, living his life, being successful, getting into mischief. Yeah, I think the apology tour needs to end, and I think something new for Adam needs to begin. Unfortunately for Mark Grossman, I think that this version of Adam has yet to be written in the way that you're describing. Strong, smart, in business, living life, doing mischief, owning it. I think that the Mark Grossman version of Adam hasn't quite had that yet, but maybe better times are ahead. Maybe the writers have heard that call. Henry asks, I wonder how Adam will feel when he learns that Victor entertained the thought of taking Connor from Chelsea. Victor seemed to have left that part out of his conversation with Adam. Oh, do you think that's going to cause trouble? I don't know. I guess I had maybe an alternate or weird interpretation of that. My interpretation is coming from a perspective of wanting to love Victor. I can't help myself. But you hit something very possibly that could become a future rift between Adam and Victor. The fact that Victor was willing to, take Connor away from Chelsea. If Adam finds out about that and doesn't like it, it could cause big trouble for the father-son happy reunion. Well, hey, now, I am so excited about this. Last week, I asked you guys, is Billy still in love with Victoria? You'll never believe this. Oh my gosh. 51-49. This is such a close vote. Is Billy still in love with Victoria? 51% say yes. 49% say no. Oh, see, that's my cue of a great storyline. I love those close votes. Sue W says, I vote yes, Billy's still in love with Victoria. If I remember correctly, Victoria pushed Billy away to end their relationship, and he desperately struggled to hold on, despite his, oops, I don't see what's wrong with these secret Amanda meetings. Billy has always been in love and will always be in love with Victoria. He's in denial now. Full of himself as the new and improved Billy 2.0, all successful and professional and sexually satisfied with the gorgeous Lily on his arm. But while dancing as fast as he can, he may soon realize that something is missing from his seemingly perfect life. Life is messy, and Billy and Victoria make a perfectly imperfect mess together. Maybe they will start having secret meetings at the dive bar to commiserate when, not if, Victoria gets involved in a new relationship with troubles of her own. And I do hope that will be with Ashland Locke, but regardless of who, she will be forever drawn to Billy. Great. So you think Billy is always going to be drawn to Victoria and Victoria is always going to be drawn to Billy. Henry says no. Henry voted no because I truly believe that he doesn't want to hurt Lily. He has kids, and so she and I think that they both can handle that and still have a great relationship. But Victoria could test Billy, I suppose, with a fake relationship in an effort to make him jealous. That would be the proverbial acid test. A test that I would hope he passes with flying colors. Yeah, I could definitely see Victoria starting up a relationship, real or fake, and finding out what Billy's reaction to that might be would be interesting. Astra voted no, Billy's not in love with Victoria. I just don't see Billy still being in love with her. I think Billy will always care for her, and I think he gives her the benefit of the doubt because he feels bad for how he treated her the last time they were together. But I think Billy is into Lily, and I think he's more obsessed with getting back or having the upper hand on Victor and Adam. That's what Lily needs to worry about more than Victoria still holding a piece of Billy's heart. Oh, that's a good point. What Lily needs to be concerned about is not Victoria. It's Billy's continued obsession and continued rivalry with Victor and Adam and vice versa. Southside Granny says no. Not in love. Victoria is the mother of his children, who he seems to have a respect for nowadays. Besides, there are players on the field they are players of the field on the same level. I think he finds that appealing in a woman. And likewise, Jamie says, I think Billy is infatuated with Lily and loves the fun sexiness of his relationship with her, but the new is wearing off and the old is shining through. His desire to take down Adam and Victor, combined with parenting their kid together, is a bond that he will always share with Victoria. Oh, so you guys agree that they're bonded over the children, no doubt about it. But Southside Granny thinks that Billy feels not in love with Victoria still. But Jamie, I love this idea that he is infatuated with Lily, that you think he's infatuated with Lily, and that's a very different thing. T. Nicole voted no, Billy's not in love with Victoria. I believe Billy truly loves Lily, and that's where his heart is. But he just doesn't understand that he's crossing boundaries with Victoria that could make Lily feel uncomfortable and give Victoria false hope. I think in Billy's mind, he's doing nothing to give Victoria the wrong impression on where they stand, but both Lily and Victoria are thinking otherwise. Oh yes, T. Nicole. That that sums up maybe where I would fall on it too. That Billy doesn't necessarily know what he's doing. I don't think he's trying to get Victoria back. He's certainly not trying to make Lily feel uncomfortable. He's just not aware that he's crossing these boundaries. Somebody needs to make him aware, because Ellen says Billy's in love with Billy. Who's Billy in love with? Billy. I could have certainly made that a third option in the poll, right? Oh, let's wrap up on this. Ambrini says that Ambrini asks, who on Y&R should win an Emmy this year? I'd say Michelle Morgan, because that scene with her and her mother a while back were great. And Olivia Allen Lind was doing a good job with her bullying storyline too. Oh yes, so Emmys are coming up. I never fully tune into the Emmys. I don't really even know why. It's just, I'm focused on the, like, a 3-month term of Y&R at all times. I don't think as much about the past. I don't think as much about what's going on the peripheral and the awards and all that. But I do know that the nominees should be being announced here within the next few weeks. And I don't know, is it too much of a cliche for me to suggest that perhaps Eric Braeden be nominated and awarded in every single category? Or how about a Lifetime Achievement Award? Can't the Academy get on that stat? Oh my Y&R chatters, I hope that you guys enjoyed the show this week. I had a lot of new people coming to the website this week to not be happy with Y&R, which is really surprising to me because presumably we're in sweeps. So this is when networks try to make their shows the most appealing. They put the budget in to try to get the most viewers and get those advertising dollars. So we're in a period where Y&R's putting a lot in, getting this great production value, getting these wonderful scripts. I am so much happier with where the show is now as opposed to 6 months ago. Of course, there's no new shows 6 months ago, I think, but I'm just so happy with where the show is. It must just be hitting me in all of my spots, but seems maybe not to be hitting everybody in theirs. So I sure do hope that you regular chatters are enjoying the show regularly. If you're not, if you are, go to yrchat.com. Let me know what you're thinking, and come back next week. We'll see where we are in this grand chess game of life. Okay, everybody. I will see you next time. I love ya.